So it was not supposed to happen. It wasn't supposed to happen. You have a political dynasty, right? Mario Cuomo was governor of New York in the 1980s, the 1990s, and his son, one of his sons, was actually mentioned at one time, thought about as a potential candidate for the presidency. So how do we get to where we are now? You made Diamond K in here, the all new radioonfire.com, at the Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. So what are we talking about? We're talking about Governor Andrew Cuomo. He has resigned after a barrage of sexual harassment allegations. So some girls said that he touched them, kissed them, made comments that made them uncomfortable. He did all these things, according to these women. Their word against his, but that's what it is. So at this juncture, someone can come up and say that you did this. There's no evidence other than the fact that these women said it, and maybe they cried, and maybe they signed an affidavit or something like that. But this is their word against his. Okay. And so we're in the Me Too era. So sometimes that's all that it takes. I'm just saying, where's the evidence? I mean, there's no semen-filled dress. There's no video. I mean, are there witnesses? We don't know. We don't know any of this, but we know the result. And the result of this is Cuomo's political career probably is over. Probably is over. He may try to come back. He may try to pop back up. I don't see how this works out for him. So today he gave his speech. Within 2 weeks, he's going to be gone. And Kathy Hochul, the lieutenant governor, 62 years old. She is a former member of Congress. She's from the Buffalo, New York area. She's going to become New York's 57th governor, and ironically, the first woman to hold this post. So this is a three-term governor we're talking about in Andrew Cuomo making this decision. Momentum has built. The removal process was going to happen. They were going to impeach homie. They were going to do it. And he finally realized, accepted the fact that they were going to get him out of there. So he didn't really have a choice. Was he going to take the country and his state through a long process of impeachment and dragging his name through the mud and hearings and all of that kind of stuff? Or was he going to step down? He decided to do the obvious, which was to step down. Democrats threw Cuomo under the bus. But that's what they do. Democrats, soft and squishy. Democrats don't want to fight for nothing, right? I'm not saying he's somebody worth fighting for. All I'm saying is this. Republicans, Donald Trump was accused of way worse stuff than this. And not only was he accused of that, he paid some of these chicks off, right? Republicans still stuck by him. Democrats will throw another Democrat under the bus like it ain't nothing, right? No, loyalty is out the freaking window. Loyalty's out the freaking window. But anyway, the Attorney General released the results of an investigation that Cuomo wanted and found that he sexually harassed at least 11 women. Investigators say that he, Cuomo, subjected women to unwanted kisses, groping their breasts, their butts, or otherwise touching them inappropriately. He made insinuating remarks about their looks and their sex lives and created a work environment that was rife with fear and intimidation. If that is true, that is not cool. That is not cool if it is true. I'm saying if it's true. I mean, I haven't seen the evidence. Has anybody seen the evidence? I mean, we've heard of evidence, right? We heard about it, but have we seen it? Their word against his. What's the evidence? These women said it. People say a lot of things. The governor said that this is politically motivated. That's what he feels. And don't get me wrong, it probably is. But he also did some things that he shouldn't have done. Now, does it deserve the level of humiliation and embarrassment that he's going through? I don't know. But that's what's happening. Cuomo still faces the possibility of criminal charges. A number of prosecutors around the state are moving to investigate him. It is getting ugly. It is getting ugly. Uglier than a masterpiece sneaker, as they used to say back in the day. Cuomo called some of these allegations fabricated. He was, very forcefully denying that he touched anybody inappropriately. He did acknowledge making some aides uncomfortable. He did say that some of the comments that he made were, playful. He apologized for some of his behavior. He seemed to think that times have changed and some stuff is based on his age. And, I guess as things have moved on, he has not, been current with, the Me Too movement as far as what's acceptable, what is not acceptable behavior, blah, 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 blah. But as defiant as Cuomo tried to cling to office, state lawmakers launched an impeachment investigation, and nearly the entire Democratic establishment in New York deserted him. President deserted him. Not only over these accusations, but also because of the discovery that his administration, and I think this is really what's hurting him, his administration had concealed thousands of COVID-19 deaths among nursing home patients. So when he says that it's political, one of the things that he's probably referring to is the fact that he's at this point not only because of him grabbing some butts, allegedly rubbing breasts, and making some lewd comments, but he also concealed thousands of deaths to try to make himself look good, to try to make New York's numbers look better than they actually were. That is political, but they couldn't really, I guess, get him on that stuff. So they're getting him on this. That's the way he's trying to sell it. His accusers included an aide who said that Cuomo groped her breasts at the governor's mansion. Now, these are her words. Now, we don't have any proof of this. No police reports were filed. This is what she said. And I'm sure that she was upset. I'm sure that she probably shed some tears. I'm sure all of those things happened when she was telling the the story. The governor himself touted his tenure as an example of a progressive Democrat who gets things done, and he wanted to run down some of the things that he got done and some of the things that he did since taking office back in 2011. He helped push through some legislation that legalized gay marriage. He wanted to talk about that. Began lifting the minimum wage to $15. He wanted to talk about that. Expanded paid family leave benefits. He's happy about that. He also backed a big infrastructure projects with an S. Overhauled the airport, construction of a new bridge over the Hudson River that he named after his dad. That's kind of cool, right? But all of that stuff did not matter when it came down to it, and nor should it. Same time, the behavior he did is what got him really in trouble. He was publicly championing the Me Too movement, right? Singing praises, but yet he was doing things and had done things that could invoke their wrath, right? It's like contradicting yourself, being hypocritical, allegedly, right? Women's rights activist groups, of course, mad at him. But he's, as many politicians do, he's playing both sides of the fence, trying to do this and do that. Both people say he's tough-minded. Oh, he's gonna fight. He's a tough politician, right? I say he folded under the pressure like a cheap chair. Right? I mean, he's so tough. Why didn't he stand up? Needed support of the Democrats. If you need the support of Democrats, you are in a lot. You're in for a rude awakening, because Democrats are not going to stand up and support you if you run afoul against certain groups of people. Certain groups of people scare the hell out of Democrats. They will not stand up for you if you run afoul to certain groups of people. Certain groups. So anyway, Cuomo's administration fiercely criticized for the handling of the nursing home residents, patients during the early stages, the early months of the COVID-19 pandemic. That was a disaster. I thought that was going to really take him out. I did. I thought it was going to take him out, but it didn't. It was the girls. So back in the day, does anybody remember Governor Elliot Spitzer? He was the one that had the the call girl scandal back, I think in 2008. He had that call girl scandal. And Anthony Weiner, remember Anthony Weiner? He went to a jail for sexting with a teenager, maybe 15 years old, something like that. When these governors go down, it's usually because of stuff that they do with women. Got to get it together. Now, speaking of women, Cuomo is not at all, not hardly, the first person to be accused of sexual harassment, assault accusations. Not the first, not at all. Right? Republicans, somebody that Republicans seem to fear, Trump. You remember Trump, right? Why did Republicans stick with Donald Trump throughout all of his drama, throughout all of his accusations, the harassment? Why did they stick with him? One of the differences is that even at Trump's lowest moments, even his impeachment, he was impeached twice. Many other Republicans still stood by him. So Trump calculated rationally, and I suppose correctly, that he could survive all of those scandals, even impeachment, just because, I guess, his personality, his refusal to back down, take a step back at all. Even though, if you believe that Cuomo did the things that he's accused of, you have to believe, or at least one of the things he was accused of. Let's just say one of the 11 women. You have to believe that Trump did at least one of the things he was accused of, and it was way over 11 women. But why do Republicans stand by and support their candidates, their politicians, when Democrats will not do the same? Why? What's the difference? Why did they stick with him? Trump has a very unique personality that appeals to the base of the Republican Party. And the elites, while they know what Trump has been accused of is wrong, while they know it, they are more scared. The elites are scared to cross him because of the connection that he has, Trump, with the base. Cuomo doesn't have any connection with the base. None of the Democrats really have a firm connection with the base. The base will throw them under the bus, right? But Republicans are very, very scared of upsetting the base. The base is smaller in the Republican Party than it is in the Democratic Party. So they are definitely going to take more calculated risks Now, Cuomo has been successful in politics. He's had several successful runs within his state, but he definitely is not comparable with regards to the, you hear this word thrown around a lot, with regards to the cult of personality among ordinary voters. That's the base. That is the base that many of the Republicans fear, the base. So for years and years, Democrats feared to cross Cuomo for many years. And I think that probably emboldened him. He started feeling himself, right? Single man, walking around town. He got three daughters, set of twins, right? Anyway, he thought he could do whatever he wanted to do. And a lot of times folks get in power, have some successful runs, campaigns, and they feel like they are untouchable, invincible, and can do whatever. And then it gets them in trouble every time, unless you're Donald Trump for some reason. But this scandal ending the career, I'm going to say it's ending the career. I mean, yes, Marion Barry came back from smoking crack, set me up, all that kind of stuff. I don't know if that is going to happen for Cuomo. Don't know. Don't think so. I don't think so. So Cuomo's conduct is what got him here. And it was really weird today listening to his speech where he announced his resignation. He spent most of the time talking to his daughters. Oh, dad's not a bad guy. Made some mistakes, grab him by. Oh no, that was somebody else who said that. Anyway, he spent a lot of time trying to, Cuomo, shore up his image. He spent a lot of time trying to make his daughters feel good about him. That tells me he thinks he can come back from this. That tells me that he thinks there is an other side to this for him. Should be over. Should definitely be over. Now, would you vote for Cuomo again? I mean, because here's the thing. He could run again for something. It's possible that we have not seen the end of him. But it's also possible that they could bring up some criminal charges against the governor. I guess he's going to be governor for a couple more weeks. So I guess we still give him the respect of calling him the governor. So some people on the right are making a big deal about the fact that President Biden, there was a time we you remember us talking about this. There was a time that people thought that Joe Biden was going to pick Cuomo up in his cabinet. There were some jobs that he could have possibly gotten. Oh, that would have been a disaster. that would have been a disaster. The fall from grace for New York Governor Andrew Cuomo coming to a head today. Multiple allegations. The statement, my opinion, was too long. The statement was way too long. Now, he apologized to his accusers. He also thanked his accusers. that was kind of weird. But he was really critical of the investigative process. The process that brought us to this point. Said it was overly political. I mean, we are in politics, right? Overly political. That's like somebody at an award show saying, this show is overly musical. It's the Grammys. What are you talking about? Of course it's going to be musical. Right, but the politician says that it was overly political process. Given the circumstances, the best way I can help now is if I step aside and let government get back to governing, he said. And therefore, this is what I will do. This is what I will do. So his lieutenant governor is going to assume the office 2 weeks, 14 days. She is going to be the first female governor, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. She is going to be given the reins of New York, and the nation is going through the fast-spreading COVID Delta variant. I mean, she couldn't be getting things at a worse time, right? She couldn't get things at a worse time, but the lieutenant governor, Kathy Hochul, did I say that right? Is that right? Says that I agree with Governor Cuomo's decision to step down. It is the right thing to do and in the best interest of New Yorkers, she said. As someone who has served at all levels of government and is next in line of succession, I am prepared to lead as New York's 57th governor. Well, she put a statement together well. Bill de Blasio, mayor of New York City, somebody who has been dumping on Cuomo forever, right? He said it was past time for him to resign. He's happy to see him go, right? Make no mistake, this is the result of survivors bravely telling their stories. It was past time for Andrew Cuomo to resign, and it's for the good of all New York, Mayor de Blasio said. Well, that's where you are with that. I do not think that Cuomo can recover from this. Not at all. The president, who was once a supporter, Joe Biden, said that I respect the governor's decision. He later said that outside of his personal conduct, this is what Republicans are making a big deal about. President said that outside of his personal conduct, Cuomo did one hell of a job as governor. That's why it's so sad. I don't really have a problem with that statement. You know, that's like saying, I mean, you did good until you didn't. Right? You did good until you didn't. All right. And I think that is probably accurate. Biden and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, along with several top Democrats, called on Cuomo to step aside last week. They've been through him under the bus last week when Letitia James released this very scathing investigative report outlining these allegations. I don't know if this is actually over for him because they love making examples out of Democrats. They love making examples out of Democrats. There could be criminal charges coming for Cuomo, 63 years old. Constantly denied everything. Now, whether criminal charges come or not, right? And he may want criminal charges to come. And let me tell you why. Because they don't have any evidence. There's no evidence. This person said you hit him. You said you didn't. There's no footage. There's no nothing. Then you can talk to I talked to some of her friends. They said you hit him. I mean, there's no evidence, right? He could beat this if he went to a criminal trial. Maybe. I mean, you get a good lawyer, right? Possible. I don't know, but I think that with Cuomo's resignation, it's just such a dramatic fall. If you look at last year, he was on TV every other day talking about what he was doing for COVID-19 in New York, and now he's begging and pleading and copping a plea, and I don't know. This is a good day for New York. I think that this is a start of accountability. But I want to see accountability go across the board. I'm tired of only seeing Democrats being held with their feet to the fire. Republicans, you need to hold Donald Trump's feet to the fire. Or do you only care about women being sexually harassed if a Democrat does it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. Of course, I'll be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., the all-new radioonfire.com. Anywhere you get your podcast, search Diamond K in the morning. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.